Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 3. Today we're going to be talking about Sikhi, like Sikhism, which is our culture, religion, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I am Joti. This is Harjot,
Hi,
my younger sister. So I'm basically going to be leading this episode because this is something that I grew up very far away, almost, because I'm not very religious.
Far away from the religion, not far away from like us.
From my family, I was far away.
No,
we
lived together.
Yeah, no, we've always lived together. So it's just from the religion. And I recently saw like a TikTok about a guy talking about exactly what is driving the youth and some people away from Sikhi and who is driving them away. And I'm just like, we have to talk about this because April was Sikhism month. We, as we said last episode, we got sick. I got extremely sick, and then I was busy. So this should have came out end of April.
Yeah.
But better late than never. So I guess we'll just go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one might be a bit of controversial if you don't like it, but we're open to like comments and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we know that the issues that we're gonna bring up with our religion are prominent in mostly every religion.
Yeah.
So if you guys have anything that's like similar or whatever, like we'd love to hear about it. We'd love to have a discussion. Gonna try to stay respectful, but of course we have opinions. And we're gonna be honest, okay?
So basically I'm gonna start by saying like we're not like baptized Sikhs.
Yeah.
Yeah, baptized. That's the
Voodoo
English.
Sikhs,
We're not Amrit Shakt, whatever you want to call it. So I guess there's some places where we might be lacking. Yes, we cut our hair. We have piercings, and
which, if you don't know about Sikhi, cutting your hair is seen as like
you shouldn't do it, really,
because our hair is like sacred. It should be very long, and you shouldn't cut it from like when you're a baby. You should technically still have your baby hair, pretty much.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
I think it's a little. I don't really know about that. Yeah. So like I said, I sort of grew up more on the science side of things, and I always thought very critically, analytically about everything. So I was very skeptical about any religion. So I always asked questions, and because I don't blindly follow.
Yeah, which it really shouldn't be anyways.
No, it makes no sense because like I was saying, like I've told our mom, I'm just like, Sikhi
means
literally translates to learn in Punjabi. It's like Sikhi. It makes no sense that you're just stuck on one way and not moving past it, not adapting and learning. It never made sense to me.
Yeah.
As a kid, as an adult, at all.
That's just not what the religion is in general anyways.
Yeah. It's literally the gurus have told us, and their teachings throughout, it's just like, take in the knowledge, take in everything, don't blindly follow.
Yeah, it's also not like a very, like, our religion isn't like a stagnant religion. I say our religion. I don't know if you actually believe. I do. I wear akara and everything. So I believe in it because I've always loved the values and stuff. So I think I'm more...
Okay, I love the values. I love the teachings. That's not something that I've always... like I've gone against ever. It's something that I've always been for because I think the values of Sikhi are amazing.
They've always been true to who we are.
Yeah, it's very, very true to the way that we grew up and the way that we live life right now as well as people, as individuals. So that's not something that I've ever backed out of. It's mostly the religious part and how much I can say that I'm a Sikh.
Yeah.
Like I've always said I'm Punjabi, but I never said I was a Sikh because... People have always told me like, oh, you're not a true Sikh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically, we are Canadian born and raised Punjabis. Our mom and dad are from India, Punjab. So we grew up with, like, our first language was Punjabi.
Yeah.
We're like, English is our second language, but once we started school, we sort of faded out in Punjabi and English became more prominent.
Yeah.
So I've always been called whitewashed by friends,
by
and
everyone,
people.
even by family.
Yeah, even by family. But it's just like we went to Punjabi school.
Yeah,
like we put in the extra effort to learn our religion, our culture, the alphabet, and we
how
learned
to read, how to write.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at writing, but it's like reading. Yes, I got it. I know the alphabet. I know the numbers. I know all the history. I still have a lot of history to learn.
Yeah.
But it's like we know a bunch of that sort of stuff. So it's not like we're not Sikhs in the true sense of like we're not embracing our culture. We've always like been like, yeah, this is who we are. Never shied away from it. I know I was 12 when we started Punjabi school.
Yeah.
I think.
I was 7 then. Probably,
yeah,
right?
so we started around there. So like a little
7,
later.
8.
Possibly? Yeah, 8.
I'm 4 years younger than you.
Yeah. So if I was 12, yeah, makes sense. Because we only went for about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't a long time, but like it was every Sunday at the Gurdwara. We would go
at like 11 a.m., right?
yeah. I think at one point it was at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
10 to 12 or something. And then some kids couldn't make it and it was like just, it wasn't good. So they had to change the timing of it. But yeah, we went. We learned. We sat in the Gurdwara for hours listening to all the prayers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like, it was a reset. Yeah. Sundays were always a reset, and I loved that part, the peacefulness of it. Sometimes there would be fights in the Gurdwara too, which is not the best. It shouldn't be, but it is what it is, and that would sort of disrupt the peace, and which sucks. Like, I grew up asking questions. Yeah. I've always asked questions. I have never shut up about it. I'm always questioning everything. So the first real time that I got annoyed by someone, because we had this one teacher, she was basically sort of the principal of the school. She always encouraged me to ask questions. She loves my questions. She's like you're asking good questions for a kid. Like, you need to know this sort of stuff. So I was 16, and this, oh my gosh, literally this 12-year-old, a 12-year-old, and I normally...
Younger than me, right?
Yeah.
At the time?
She was younger than you. Or, like, you guys were the same age, I think.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah, you guys were the same age, but she really, really had an issue, because I was asking, I'm just like, oh, I think it was about one of the gurus, I don't remember which one, but I'm just like, how is that possible that he was able to do this sort of stuff?
I think it was a Guru Nanak Dev Ji thing, the handprint.
Oh, right, on the boulder.
Yeah.
Like, he stopped it. Like, there's a story about that.
Like, he stopped a boulder with one of his hands or something. Yeah. Like, that's impossible for a person.
Exactly. And I'm just like, but, like, he would have been crushed. Like, a hand can't stop that. Like, logically. I was thinking logically. And I'm like, that's not possible. No one, even if they are from God or whatever. Like, I'm just like, no one should be able to do that. And this 12-year-old overheard me, and she literally said, "Why are you being stupid? You shouldn't ask such things."
What?
To my face. And this was when I was talking to my teacher, like the principal. And she
wasn't even part of the conversation.
No, she wasn't.
Just and butted right in.
Yeah, the principal was about to answer me and have a conversation with me, because she loved doing that stuff, and I love having conversations about anything.
Yeah.
So this girl just butted in, and before I could even like tell her, because I got really annoyed, and I don't normally fight with children. Ever, because I was 16. I'm like, but like, I was hurt by it. I'm just like, why are you calling me stupid? Am I not allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, like, you're trying to learn and someone's calling you stupid. Like,
yeah, because we grew up in a way as well, whereas like, we're women and we shouldn't really be asking questions. We were sort of told, not by immediate family, but by some family, that we shouldn't. So it really, really got me. This 12-year-old literally said that to me, and before I could cut in and go at her, the teacher principal was just like, don't worry about it. She should be asking questions, because that's what we are. We shouldn't just
blindly follow.
Literally blindly follow. I've said it so many times, but do not blindly follow. She encouraged me. She was just like, no, she's right. Like, if she needs an explanation, I will give her an explanation. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So basically what she said was, she explained to me, she's like, you're very scientific. You are into that sort of stuff. I'm like, yes. She's like, where science ends, religion begins. So things that science can't explain, that's sort of where religion begins. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Cool. Like, that's all right.
I feel like it's always been that way too. Where like, where people can't explain something, they call it like a divine miracle or whatever. Exactly. But it's like, the more we advance in science, we realize like, oh, okay, it's actually this thing. But what's to say that like a scientific thing still isn't like a miracle by God? Like,
it's some people think that it is. Sometimes.
I do. I believe that science and religion intersect like a lot. They do, because it's genuinely, it's the universe, it's the whatever entity that you believe in, and like that's what science is, right? Like it's just explaining it, because now we have the means to explain it.
Yeah,
you know, I've always thought of it that way. Like science and religion intersect. Yeah, and a lot of people don't like that. I don't know. It sucks. I'm like, why? Because I remember we were in science class, literally biology class, and we were talking about evolution. And I said something like, people who don't believe in evolution are kind of stupid, right? Because I genuinely do believe, like, I'm a religious person, but like, I've always, like, I'm a religious person. I've always thought that evolution, there's proof of evolution, okay? Even if you're religious, it doesn't mean that, like, God doesn't exist. It just means that evolution does exist, and like the two can exist at the same time, you know? Exactly. Like what's to say that God didn't put that little whatever it was fish into the ocean or whatever,
to be come able to adapt and move.
Like who says that that wasn't God who did that? Like who says that that's just like, well, whatever. Like, is God not the world and the universe? Is it not? You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if you believe in that stuff, it's like, everything is made from God.
I remember that one friend, like we were friends at the time, and she looked at me and she just kind of like didn't say anything. She just kind of like disapproved of what I said. She's like, no, evolution is wrong. And I was like, that's big yikes, dude. Like, but then I can understand, like, if you don't have the education for it, I guess. Like, I don't mean to call her stupid, but I'm just like, I guess if you haven't been educated on what evolution is and how it started and how it came from literally matter from the universe, then I can see how you would be like, oh, that's bullshit, or it's not true. Like,
yeah, and it's sort of like people like that don't let new concepts in.
Yeah,
they really want to be stuck in their ways. They don't want to move on and be like, okay, yeah, it could be possible.
Yeah,
not even that. They would just be like, nope, this is the way. This is the way it's always been. This is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever change.
Like, God put us on this earth as human beings. Like, where was the evidence of that? There's literally none.
There's no evidence.
I hate to say it, but there's none.
There's no evidence of that.
Other than, like, written in a book that's been translated a million times over.
Which was written by humans.
And been translated a million times over from different languages.
Exactly.
It's not even the original translation.
And the original translations have been skewed and made into a view of what the church or these holy places want you to believe in it.
Yeah.
Argue with me about it, honestly.
Yes.
Like, that would be great, because, like, even though we're not Christians, we know a lot about, like, there's things in the Bible that...
We literally grew up in, like, the southern part of Canada. So it's like, we know about this stuff.
Like, we live in the Texas of Canada.
Yeah, or that's what people call it.
Yeah, so we're no stranger to that sort of stuff, because I had friends that were Christian growing up. I've had Muslim friends, I've Hindu friends, Punjabi friends, every single person. So it's like, I've learned, and our schedules and our holidays in Canada are based off of the Christian calendar.
Yeah, obviously.
So it's like, we learned a bit. And it's okay to learn that sort of stuff and be knowledgeable about other religions.
And the reason why for that as well, it's like, Sikhi, we have the thing called Ek Onkar, which just means one God. So it's like all these religions, but it's only one God, right? Like, it's not our God, it's not your God, it's not Christian God, it's not whatever God, it's just one. Like, one overview, that's it.
Like, if you think of it, like, because I always thought of it as like the one God at the top.
Yeah, I've thought of it that way too.
And then all these disciples, like our gurus, Jesus,
the Prophet
Muhammad, any of like the Hindu gods as well. It's just like they're sort of like the descendants of that, of like a higher being. So it's just like all of us are sort of, because if you look at all the religions of the world,
so similar,
because they preach like kindness to human beings, be a good human, be selfless, think of others before yourself, like to gain higher divinity almost.
Yeah.
So it's just like we're teaching the same things to people around the world, but we're just calling it different names, different people that have brought them to our attention.
Because I took a few religious study classes in university, which you see, shout out. But I took a couple classes, and every single class that I took, we learned about different religions, and my professors would always like differentiate between the religions, and I'm just like, but all I can see is similarities. All I can see is similarities. Like, I don't see the differences. Yeah, there's a few differences here and there, but that's just like cultural differences, you know. It's
but like
not,
the basic
it's not religious
roots of it.
Yeah, it's not religious differences. It's cultural differences, and it's like
Traditions as well.
I don't know how people can look at religions and not see the very clear similarities, like how they're all the same thing pretty much. Even ones that don't believe in like a higher power, like Buddhism, only they don't believe in like a god or whatever. They believe in just nirvana, right?
Yeah.
Which is not a person, it's not an entity, it's nothing. It's like a state of being. But it's still they still have the same principles,
it's very similar. It's
everything.
Like, because we're told to meditate to clear our minds of sort of like stuff, especially like ego. Mm-hmm. Ego is a big thing.
Oh, it's such a huge thing.
Especially in Sikhi, we're supposed to let go of our ego.
Fully, yeah.
But that's a topic.
But that's like how you said where there's fights in the Gurdwara, which is like our holy temple.
It's based off of ego.
Yeah, like you're bringing your ego into a holy place that literally says, let go of your ego. We are all equal. That is why in the Gurdwara you always see people sitting on the floor. Everyone sits on the floor because we're equal.
All of us have to cover our heads.
Yeah.
No matter what, like man, woman, non-binary, even if you go there, trans, whatever.
Like everyone's treated the same.
Every single person is the same.
Yeah.
Like now there's actually like people have tables because some people have mobility issues.
Like for older people.
Yeah. And like people with like disabilities or mobility issues. And it's just like, okay, that's understandable. And that's just adapting to the world that we live in nowadays. And even then it's just like,
they even try to sit on the floor sometimes, though. And then people have to force them, like, no, go sit at a table. You can't sit on the floor, you know?
Exactly.
So, like, people aren't fighting for the tables. They're not like, no, you need to go sit on the floor because you're young. Like, no, if a young person needs to sit at a table, then nobody really says anything. Or you're not supposed to say anything, at least. Yeah. You know? I've had a few people say some stuff to me.
Yeah. What else do I have?
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. There was so basically, Sikhi in general is like I literally wrote this down because I'm like, I'm gonna forget. So we're supposed to like not look at people and judge them over their caste, creed, or religion. We're supposed to think everyone that walks the earth is equal to each other. We are the inhabitants of the same world, and we're all here for a purpose of any sort.
Yeah.
And we have to be kind.
Yeah, which again, it comes to like that whole like people wanting to say, my God is better than your God. Yeah. But it's like, it's not true though, is it? Because they're all... And that's why I feel like a lot of times we see, the similarities in religion because we see everyone as...
equals.
Like we're all the same. Like if you are a Christian and I'm a Sikh, we both still believe in God. Like we still believe in the same thing, right? So we are the same person, like we, you know, like I don't know how to say it other than like we are brother and sister in this, you know.
Okay, I got this quote directly from the internet. I forgot to source.
Oh, whatever.
Like
who cares?
It's fine.
This is a YouTube video.
I know. Okay, so Sikhism advocates equality, social justice, service to humanity, and tolerance for other religions. The essential message of Sikhism is spiritual devotion and reverence of God at all times while practicing the ideals of honesty, compassion, humility, and generosity in everyday life. There's a lot of people while we were growing up. So there was a lot of issues, especially like people that would, like the 12-year-old girl that said that I was being stupid. So she was, from a young age, she was wearing a dastard. And it's because her family sort of does that.
Which, if you don't know, that is one of those, like, Amrit Shak people, Guru Sikh, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, baptized. Yeah. English version of it. So, like, they were like that. And those people are supposed to follow everything to a T. Like, they should know the religion inside and out and follow it. And those people were the ones lying.
They always are the worst.
And...
And it's not even us who say it. It's everyone. We met some older guy. And he is one of those people who wears at this thought as well. And he is very spiritual. He's very, like, religiously whatever.
Really connected.
Yeah, like, he knows, like, stuff, he's, like, very, very connected, very spiritual.
He's, like, at least 80. Yeah. Like, our grandfather's age. He's, like, 80, 90.
Old. Yeah. And even he said that. He's, like, all of them, they are always the worst.
He said performative sick.
They very performative.
Yeah, very performative. They're just like, look at me. I'm... Just because I don't cut my hair, I wear this thought, I do this, and I follow this.
They do that thing, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
What?
But it's just like, even if I cut my hair, it goes back to that. I cut my hair, I have piercings, I have tattoos, and, like, I dress in the way that I dress. I feel like I'm more of a Sikh than most of those people because I follow the values of Sikhism more closely than any of those people that I've met throughout my years.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously there are people out there that are very devout and know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that take advantage of the fact that they're baptized and to be like, oh yeah, I'm the righteous Sikh. I'm again, top of the top.
Again, playing into their own ego, being like, I'm better than you.
Exactly.
Because should I bring this up as well? I saw this TikTok of some guy, which it really irked me, and I sent it to you and I sent it to Mom, and I talked to you guys about it. It was this guy, and he is Amrit Shuk. He's this Amrit Shuk Sikh, and he was talking about marriage in the Gurdwara, pretty much. So he was saying, like, the Guru said, you're not allowed to get married in a Gurdwara unless it's a Sikh getting married to a Sikh. Like a man Sikh getting married to a woman Sikh.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is such bullshit. Because, like, I've seen so many people get married in the Gurdwara. Like, in what...
One of our aunts even.
World do we discriminate against other religions that we don't let other
religions...
We're
literally not supposed to.
Yeah, like, we're now discriminating, like, where are we going to start acting like the church? I'm sorry, but, like, that's how they act, where they don't let other religions in. Mm-hmm. We let anyone in. It doesn't matter what your religion is, as long as you're respectful, you're allowed in. Why are they not allowed to get married in our place? If they're getting married to a Sikh person, like, if I got married to someone who's not a Sikh, it's, like, it really irked me because, like, it's not 100% guaranteed I'm going to get married to someone who's a Sikh, but I'm going to get married in a Gurdwara because that's always been my dream, right?
Exactly.
And it's like they've made it, or at least that guy was saying, like, oh, no, you can't do it. You're not allowed to get married in a Gurdwara. You can't get married. You can't have the Anand Karaj, whatever, if the person you're getting married to is not a Sikh. I was like, what?
It doesn't make sense.
Why?
Like, our aunt got married to a Gujarati.
Yeah.
And they had a Punjabi wedding and they had a Gujarati wedding.
Yeah.
So it's just like, they did both sides and they keep that culture of both sides of the culture and they've raised their kids that way. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we know a few people that have gotten married outside the culture, and the Gurdwara near our house, they allow anyone to get married.
Yeah.
Other Gurdwaras are very, very...
In America.
It's also some UK ones.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, some follow the higher temple, like, back in India. Like, they follow their sayings. So it's like, oh, they said no means no. We won't allow that. Some Gurdwaras are just like, no, we're in the 21st century. We're in 2024. We have to adapt and, you know, allow these kids. Because otherwise, if you stop that from happening as well, you're not allowing the newer generation to have the marriages outside of their culture in the Gurdwara. You're losing them.
Yeah, like you're
going to lose them for life.
You're pushing your own people out of the religion, and our religion is already so small. Like, it has such a small
minority
following.
Yeah.
That, like, it's just gonna die out. Like, if we continue on this path, you know, it's like, why is it not allowed to adapt to the new ways of life? Like, that's I mean, it's kind of what Sikhi is, right? It's like learning, adapting, whatever. And then in that same TikTok video, the guy was like, oh, stop bringing your woke ideas into it. As if Sikhi isn't in it itself,
Sikhi
like a woke religion.
Sikhi was a woke religion.
Yeah.
We're really, really brand new. We're only like, what, 400, 500 years old?
Barely, yeah.
Barely. It's like the way Sikhi was born was all these gurus. We have 10 gurus. We have the 11th guru, which is the Guru Granth Sahib, written by all the gurus.
But yeah, it's the actual book.
It's essentially like a Bible, sort of. So it's like, literally the first guru, he, like, during that time, India and Pakistan and all these places, like, over there were together.
Yeah.
They were not separated at all. India and Pakistan were still together up until 1947 when we were separated. And now we're two different countries. But otherwise, we were interconnected. There was people, Muslims living in India, and then Indians living in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if officially it was called Hindustan.
It was, yeah.
Okay, so. Like, it was called Hindustan. So it's like all of us were just together because we're all Desi. So it's like the Hindus, the Muslims, the Punjabis, any, like, even northern Indian ones. It's like
Southern
Indian, it's like we were together.
South India is like Fiji, Gujarat, Bangladesh, that stuff.
Even then, it's like those, like, they're sort of with us as well. Like, we're all very, very similar. But literally, the dominating religions at the time, I think it was 1549 when Guru Nanak.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like around then. So it was just like, it was the Muslims and the Hindus, and they were always fighting, competing, and all this sort of stuff. And the Muslims were trying to convert people a lot, and so were the Hindus. So Guru Nanak, he literally created a different path. He's just like, we shouldn't fight. We shouldn't do this. We're all one people. Why can't we just get along? And that's what he preached walking around on his journey. And that continued from guru to guru to guru. And then when we got to the 10th guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he made the culture. He made the actual religion that is Sikhi. And that was in 1699.
I don't really know dates.
I think it's 1699. I could be wrong. I'll put it up somewhere. But 1699, that's when our religion was officially born. And
the birth of Khalsa.
Vaisakhi. It's like the harvest season as well. He took the heads, in a way, of 5 devout Sikhs that would... He literally asked, like, who will give their life for me?
It wasn't just Sikhs.
It was people came from all over.
There was like some Muslims, there was some Hindus, there was some Punjabi Sikhs,
and they all decided to convert because they wanted to.
Yeah,
and like that's another thing that I want to bring up. But it's like we don't force people to convert. We're just like, if you want to be part of this, you don't even have to convert. Just follow the teachings. You can just
show up and just like be respectful, and that's
it. And if you want to convert and you want to be baptized, go for it.
Yeah.
There's some like white people as well that have been baptized and that follow it like super, super close. And that's great. But you don't even have to do that to be a Sikh.
So you could just show up.
Yeah.
But we don't care. Literally. Just show up. You're invited to the barbecue, okay?
Literally. It's like if you need anything, it's always been said, I think even Queen Elizabeth knew. If she had Punjabis on her side, she could take over the world.
I think she even knighted some Sardar Sikhs as well.
Yeah.
She knighted a few of them. She knighted that one guy, that really famous singer. She knighted him. What was his name?
Really?
Yes, she knighted him. I remember because I took a music class because I have a degree in music. And she knighted him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she knew the value of Sikhs. Like, say what you want about the royal family, but Queen Elizabeth II knew. She knew what our people are and will be and continue to be, because we are a warrior race.
Yeah, like
we always have been.
Yeah,
we stand for we don't stand for injustice.
We always fight for it. Like anytime you see like something like a political thing happening, you will always see Sikhs there all the time. You see people, the Black Lives Matter thing, Sikhs everywhere. The Palestine stuff, Sikhs everywhere.
Also indigenous peoples and their struggle.
The whole there. We're always there. Like
because we know how
truth and reconciliation. We're always fighting for people. We always support them. We are always there. Like always.
Because that's who we are as Sikhs.
And even if you look at like at least in where we live, most of the police force, most of the securities, anywhere
RCMP
that you go,
as well.
RCMP, Punjabis, Sikhs.
We're always somewhere there.
They even changed some of the laws to allow them to wear bugs now, like the stars.
Instead of a helmet.
Instead of a helmet, because that is our helmet, you know?
And it has a lot of padding.
And they
in it,
literally
so it's like
changed the laws in Canada for that because we are so prominently in those fields of like career.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are always there.
Exactly.
Because it's always been part of like our religion. Anyways. And even not just men too. I want to like point that out. It's a lot of it has been women. My pago.
Yeah, exactly. That's also the thing. I feel like our people have gone back.
Yes.
Because it's the British rule, the westernization of ideals and everything. Because women were front lines as well. Punjab, like, if you look at any history of Sikhs, women were fighting right along. Guru Nanak, he upheld his sister in such a high regard. Mm-hmm. She never had kids of her own. She regarded Guru Nanak as her own child, and her husband was fine with it as well. But he held his sister, in such a high regard, and like since then it's sort of gone downhill. Mm-hmm. Because now we're told women can't do anything, and that is such a westernized mindset.
And then
horrible.
People tell us we're whitewashed, but that's the whitewashed version.
Exactly.
We look at it from the original viewpoint where people say, oh, you're too woke. No, we're not. We're just looking at it the same viewpoint as like our gurus looked at it from, as like women are equal to men because we are equal to men.
And you should empower women.
Yeah.
Like SIKHI has empowered women since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like no matter what. They never denied a woman anything. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you want to join this? You want to fight? Okay. As long as you want to do it, do it.
Yeah, like your body, your choice has always kind of been a thing in SIKHI. Like,
exactly.
It's not a very new thing. It's always been a thing in ours. Mm-hmm. And that's why also, because I took some indigenous classes too, I just want to bring this up. But like, indigenous spirituality is so closely linked to SIKHI as well, because they had a, what is it called? Not a matriarchy system, right?
Oh, yeah.
They had a matriarchy system where women were actually like the leaders, right? I mean, before, we know colonialism, genocide, all that stuff.
I think a lot of places did too.
Yeah, a lot of places did. But I see it a lot within indigenous cultures because we live in Canada. We know about indigenous cultures. And it's just like the exact same. Indigenous women are warriors. Punjabi women, Sikh women are warriors. Yeah. We're like this, and that's what I mean when I say like.
And we're also like, very connected to land.
Yeah, like we are very connected to land, like super. Like our identity is in our land because we are like farmers.
Yeah,
we've always been like that's our class, whatever. Like we're not supposed to think of it that way,
class,
but like Punjabis, we're all farmers. We all know this. If you're Punjabi, you're watching this.
If you're a Jot, it translates to farmer, but it's like then again class system.
Yeah, it's like we're super connected with our land, and that's like the same way with indigenous people, and that's why I feel like Canada is like the perfect place for us to be.
Really support any minority, like no matter who they are. And if you ever ask a Sikh and they say that they don't support the right side, whatever that may be.
Which is the side of the oppressed. If they
exactly.
Don't, if a Sikh is not on the side of the oppressed,
they're not a
really
Sikh.
Really Sikh. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That they're not a Sikh. They're not.
Sorry,
they're not
okay. Sorry, but you're not a Sikh. If you're not on the side of the oppressed, you're not.
Yeah, because we have been oppressed for years and years.
It's not just that. It's just like who we are, like fundamentally to the core. That is who we are. We always stand up for the oppressed.
Yeah.
Our gurus did it. So why
we should continue it?
Why would we go against what our gurus do and not stand up for the oppressed?
Exactly, their teachings.
It's not woke. It's who we are.
Mm-hmm. I talked about the separation, but
What?
Gandhi is a bitch.
He is, bro. Okay. Gandhi is such a bitch.
Moving on from the religious aspect.
Yeah, we can go more cultural now.
Yeah, okay? I wanted to talk about some cultural stuff. Growing up, even in Canada, we were told Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi.
Such a saint.
Oh my God, he's amazing.
He saved India because of the salt trade bullshit, whatever the fuck he did.
Yeah.
He starved himself.
But the thing is, when we brought that home to our mom, because we talked to our mom a lot, she actually told us the truth of what we were like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh my God, look, this guy from India, his name's Gandhi. Because we didn't know as kids, and our mom didn't bring it up to us before that point. Yeah. We brought it home, and she was just like, actually, He was not a good guy. People did not like him because
misogynist, pedophile, molester. What else?
I don't even know. So many things.
So many different things.
He is the reason that our country was divided into Pakistan and India. He was the reason. Mm-hmm. So, we don't like Gandhi. Mm-mm. And in extension, we do not like Indira Gandhi.
Oh, for bigger reasons.
For bigger reasons. If anyone knows about 1984, and no, I'm not talking about the George Orwell book, but Punjabi genocide.
Punjab, 1984, yeah.
It's
search it up.
Do some research on it. It's not a lot of people know about it because the Indian government has said and is teaching people in India that it was a war.
Civil war.
A civil war between Punjabis and Hindus.
No, between Punjabis and the government.
And the government. It's always the government. But in reality, we were attacked in our
religious places.
Like holy places. Like the Golden Temple was attacked by military.
It was shot up. There's
still bullet holes.
Yeah, they can't cover up the bullet holes, so they had to reframe it as like, no, it was a civil war. They shot at us, so we shot them. Yeah. Bullshit. People were there worshiping God, obviously. That's what you do there, right? And we have a thing where there's, water in the middle, and usually you, like, bathe in it. It's like
it's
holy
like
water or whatever. You, like, almost, cleanse yourself in there. And they shot people. So many people died there that water there, which is, like, it's a huge thing of water. It's not like a tiny little kiddie pool. It's like a big thing of water. If you've ever been to a Golden Temple, it turned red with our people's blood. That's how many people died there. And a lot of people, because it was the height, like it was in June. I think it's coming up. The anniversary, yeah. So 40 years, no justice. We're still waiting for that. Our parents lived through this. You could talk we're really lucky that we're alive. Yeah, like our parents lived through this. We talked to them about it, and our mom, one of her uncles was burned alive with a tire around they put a tire around him and then set him on fire, and he was burned alive. And they went after young men because it was also like a thing of like trying to stop us from reproducing, so trying to stop our race pretty much, or our race, whatever, Sikhs in general. And we're lucky that our dad is even alive. Like, he wasn't targeted or anything. He was I think he was 18 at the time. He was a young man in Punjab at that time. No, he was 16. No, wait. 1984? No, he's like 20-something. Oh, 20-something. Yeah. So he would have been like one of... And that's why when a lot of people complain, this kind of leads into like us being in Canada. When people complain about Punjabis being in Canada, the reason why so many of us are here is because we're not welcome in our own country, and then we come here and we're even less welcome when we're here. So we get killed in our own land. We get killed in our own land by our government, and then we come here and then we have to face racism, and people hate us. They call us disgusting, smelly, whatever the fuck. Just so much shit. We are not welcome anywhere, and that's why, like, sometimes I understand why people kind of have, like, that ego to them. Because it's like, after you go through so much... It's a defense mechanism. After you go through so much, you get pissed. You're like, you know what? Fuck you, too. Like, what the hell? Like, why me, bitch? Yeah. Why not you? Exactly. That was like a rhyme. Yeah, and the government in India has still... Like, they stole scriptures and all these religious artifacts and everything from... the temple. They still have not given it back. There's like, we didn't take anything. Yeah. We didn't do anything. They just deny. Yeah. And we didn't even mention that Indira Gandhi was the prime minister at that time, 1984. She honestly killed off her older son as well. Yeah. In a helicopter thing as well. Like, you can search her up. You will find everything. And then her death was because of 2 Sikhs. Because her security guards were Sikhs, which was her biggest mistake. How are you gonna fucking kill 6 and then keep your security guards at 6? Yeah. Like, you really think that they're gonna go against their own people? No. Yeah. Stupid bitch. and they shot her. Exactly. And I remember, oh my God. I remember when I was in grade 3 at the time, I was friends with these 2 girls, and we were all Indian, so we kind of, like, I guess, bonded over that, We're like, oh, we're all Indian, we're, from there. Our parents are from there. We were born in Canada. We were friends. So both of them were Hindu, and I was Sikh. And we talked about that, right? And I remember we were, like, really close friends. And then we went home that night, whatever. And then we came back to school the next day and they didn't talk to me. And they just kept on not talking to me. I didn't understand why. Yeah. So I asked them and I was like, why are you guys not talking to me? Did I do something? Like, what happened? And they said, your people killed our prime minister. And I was like, huh? I was like, I didn't kill anybody, bitch. I'm 8. Like, what the fuck?
Makes no sense.
I was so upset that day. And then I came home and I told Mom. And Mom said, oh, just forget it. Whatever, they're not worth your time anyways. Don't talk to them. And she didn't explain anything to me, right? Because, you know, I was 8. So what are you going to tell them? Like, oh, let me explain to you a genocide. And like, no, right? So I didn't learn until later the actual reason. I didn't learn until I was maybe 12 or 13, the real reason why they stopped talking to me. And they stopped talking to me because their prime minister, Indira Gandhi, killed a whole bunch of our people. And then her security guards killed her in retaliation for all the lives lost. And then somehow that translated into me being bullied in school. Yeah. Butterfly effect, I guess. Like, holy shit. Thanks, Indira Gandhi.
God damn it. Boo! But it's just like, also those, like, we had a movie come out a couple of years ago now, but it's literally called Punjab 1984. Yeah. And
who was in it?
Diljit Dosanjh. Yeah. He starred in it. He was like the
main character, yeah.
And it was devastating.
It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking because they showed pictures of men that were still missing. They weren't missing. They were killed because at the time during 1984, you would be on a bus and the government would grab you. They would stop the bus.
The police officers, they would stop it and they would kidnap all the
men,
sick men.
Or people that look like it, take them to a field and tell them to run. And if you ran far enough and you could get away, you got away. Otherwise, you were shot down. And
nobody ever got away.
Yeah. It's like you left the house to get medicine, let's say. Pick up some groceries. Mm-hmm. You never came back.
Your parents go to school or something.
Yeah, because your parents never knew where you went. So those parents are still looking for their sons. Holding on to that. It's like, my son's still out there. There was a curfew. Our mom told us that I think it was like 9 p.m. they had to be indoors. They left if anyone left the house, they would be shot down, and especially women, because we know what this sort of thing does. Mm-hmm. Molestation, rape, and everything that happened towards women during these times was happening. So
stop farting.
I'm not. I'm moving, and the thing is going like that. But that was happening. So there was a curfew on everything. We were restricted. So it's been a thing. Yeah. So
a lot.
Yeah. I guess that was a bit of a tangent, but it's like it explains why we are the way we are and why I've actually started calling myself a Sikh, not a Indian, or a Punjabi. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Punjabis, even now, the atmosphere of the government and the people is at an all-time high because of Modi and what's going on. I don't know exactly what's going on, but our parents...
It's kind of like
talk about it.
He's like trying to bring back like the same sort of values that Indira Gandhi had, I guess. Yeah. Or that India has always kind of had against Sikhs. Trying to take our land from us, trying to kill our people, trying to just push us off of, just trying to get us out. Just like, get out. Just leave, right? And you can see it too. Like, if you know anything about India, if you are Punjabi, you know, none of our family, nobody really lives there anymore. Our family doesn't live there. No. Everyone left. We have like 1 or 2 families that live there, barely. They're here now. Mom's Thai lives there, and that is it. Yeah, that we know of.
Everyone's in Canada, America, Australia, UK. Some are in Germany. Mm-hmm. So it's like we've spread out, and it really sucks because there's no one back home, and like that is where we should be. Mm-hmm. At least some people.
And then like I've also had conversation with people. Also recently, some girl at work, she said she's going back to India, right? And she asked me, when's the last time you've been? And I was like, it's been over 10 years. It's been 12 years now. I was like, I haven't been back. And she's like, why not? You should go back. And people always tell me that, why not? You should go back. You should go visit. And I'm like, who? Who do I visit? Like, who do I visit? Nobody's there. Like, where do I go? I just show up and just stand in the middle of a field. Like, there's nobody there. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to live. We're not even invited there. Like, there's just like no reason for us to go there, you know? It's like we're forcefully being pushed away from not only our religion by our own people, but from our own homeland by our government, by people who are supposed to be our brothers and sisters. We're being pushed away from it. We're just like ostracized pretty much.
We literally have been for a long time.
Ever, yeah.
It's never ending, and I don't think it will ever end.
Mm-mm. And that's why we've kind of been like, Punjabis have been making their way in Canada, and that's why you see like so many Punjabis in Canada, so many, or not as many in America, but so many in Canada. You look at Canada, I think literally everyone's here, bro.
I think Punjabi as a language as well is like third most spoken. Like English, French, and then Punjabi. Mm-hmm. Might have changed because I know Mandarin's up there, but Punjabi is the most spoken thing as well in Canada.
Because so many of us are here.
Yeah. And it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So we've been displaced and displaced, and we know how that feels. So it's like it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you'll always see us standing up for people who are going through the same shit.
Yeah. Like you never have to. Like you usually don't have to ask.
Never have to ask. Honestly, not us. At least.
Not us. Like I may not post about some stuff on social media, but my stance in life is like for the oppressed. I'm like, no, you need to stand up. You need to get your land back. You need to get your rights back. You should be recognized as a country. Mm-hmm. You should have that like right.
Yeah.
So your children have that right.
Mm-hmm. Because we don't have that right.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
This is a very long episode.
It's very long and very politically heavy.
I hope that you guys enjoyed it because, like, this stuff is kind of important to us. And I feel like it's not just us. It's with the state of the world. I'm pretty sure we've all seen what's happening. It's relevant to everyone, pretty much. Just everywhere. It's very, very relevant. And it's like this constant ongoing thing where, like, a government gets greedy, tries to push people out of their land, and we see it happening. Ukraine, Palestine, Congo, Sudan.
Indigenous peoples here in Canada, America, Australia, even.
Everywhere. Like, it's everywhere all the time, constantly.
They're always trying to just box us in somewhere.
Yeah.
Always.
It's always...
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it, but it's always, like, brown-skinned people. You know, like, oh, we hate brown-skinned people. Sorry, my skin's brown, bitch. Sorry. Exactly. Sorry for being brown. Goddamn. But it's just, it sucks because it's like I've never seen, like, that sort of difference. And I don't mean to say, like, oh, I don't see color.
Yeah.
No, it's just, like, genuinely, like, what's the difference if my skin is, like, slightly brown and yours is, like, slightly white? Who cares? We're people, right?
Like, people are people. We're human beings. We're living on the same earth. We have the same resources.
Yeah. Like, we're different, but we're also, like, the exact same.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Leave any comments down below if you got some shit to say, if you want to start an argument, or if you agree with us.
Even if you have different opinions, let us know. We can definitely talk about them in the future.
Or if we were wrong about something.
Because we're still learning. Yeah. I don't know a lot. There's a lot of gaps between our education of Sikhi and because we're so westernized and we're in the Western world. Mm-hmm. So if we did get something wrong, let us know. If we said something wrong, please respectfully tell us.
Yeah, correct us.
Like, we're totally open to that. As long as you're respectful about it. We'll have an open conversation.
Yeah, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments or wherever, I guess.
I guess it's sort of like a sad
ending, yeah.
It's like a bye.
Sorry, guys.
Real downer. But hey, that's the state of the world. That's the state of a lot of things right now. So.
But it's okay. I mean, there's no reason to lose hope. I mean, as long as people are fighting, there's always hope, right?
There's people out there that will back others for.
And you know, a lot of people say like, "Oh, what's the difference? Like, what difference am I gonna make?" You're gonna make all the difference. Trust me.
One person can make a big difference.
One voice makes all the difference. So I always say, you know, you got something to say, speak up, say it with your chest, mean it. You know.
Yeah. Anyways, bye. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.